officially been somehow almost 2 weeks since my last vlog. I think we might be a day off or something. I don't know time. But what's up, guys? We are officially living a life post Age of Ultron, man. Obviously, my showcase went up almost 2 weeks ago. Tomorrow it will have been, no, actually day after tomorrow, it will have been 2 weeks. It's like, what the heck? I cannot believe it. How has it been almost 2 weeks since I got that video up? By the way, that was total madness. I mean, since the last time I talked to you guys in a vlog, I was just actually, when I recorded that vlog, I was in the middle of recording and I spent that whole night finishing the video, recording the rest of it, doing the thumbnail. It was the most exhausting night that I've had in 2015 thus far. So after that, I just kind of took like a week break after seeing the film and just like mostly slacking off and just working on Daredevil off to the side and really working hard on Daredevil to get him finished. He's actually, I've made a really significant amount of progress on him and he'll be done probably in the next week. So really excited for that, man. But yeah, so Age of Ultron, I saw it 4 times, actually, and it was, I think you guys know what I'm going to say about Age of Ultron. It was everything I wanted it to be. Yes, there were some obvious things that were cut out, but I didn't care at the end of the day. I thought Age of Ultron was incredible. I can't put it into words. I'm going to try to talk about it in full spoilers once I talk about a few more, now I wouldn't say more important things, but a few things I want to get out of the way first for those of you guys who don't care about what I thought about the film. So, yeah, but all my customs that I'm working on now that all 10 of the Age of Ultron, the main 10 Age of Ultron customs are finished, and the Hulkbuster, all that's done in the big showcase video. And by the way, I'm really glad you guys have been enjoying the video. I've seen a lot of you guys really looking at the showcase video and enjoying it, and I've been hearing so much good feedback from you guys, and I've really appreciated that. And so huge thanks to all of you for supporting that showcase video, because a lot of work went into it, as you saw over these past like 16, 17, almost 18 weeks it's been since I started on the figures back in January. So yeah, huge thanks for that, guys. And also, what was I about to say? Losing my train of thought. Oh yeah, customs, best of my printer. Customs and what I'm going to be doing now that Age of Ultron is done. I'm obviously going to be making a few spin-off customs for the showcase video. I will be making War Machine, hoping to make the Mark 45, not sure. And then there are 2 other figures, the Ultron Mark 1 and a possible Bruce Banner. Those are the 2 customs I'm not sure that I will be making yet. I would like to make an Ultron Mark 1 and I would like to make a Bruce Banner, but I know definitively that I'm already going to make a War Machine I've already started on, and a Mark 45 is pretty high. I would say it's highly probable that I will make a Mark 45. But it's just the Ultron Mark 1 and the Bruce Banner that I'm not totally sure on. The Ultron Mark 1, though, I really do want to do. So we'll see if I have time for that. But obviously, guys, there's a lot that's already coming up. But just so you are aware, Ahsoka I will be working on, of course, off to the side. That's the Star Wars Rebels version of Ahsoka, of course. And so I mean, I would say I probably, I mean, out of all my customs, she probably has these, I mean, as a matter of fact, most of my customs are right now, like the Atom and War Machine, her and not War Machine, I can't words. The Atom and Ahsoka are probably on the same level, I would say, of completion right now. So Ahsoka's a little, I would say a little less than halfway done, but she will obviously get her turn. And then of the Atom, I was hoping I'd have him done in time for the Arrow finale, but that's tomorrow, actually. We're getting the episode of the Flash Rogue Air tonight, which is going to be super awesome. Cannot wait for that. You're going to have, I guess, spoilers for the Flash, man, for a few characters that are going to be showing up in the 22nd or 1st episode, whichever one it is. I'm going to have Arrow, the Flash, obviously, and Firestorm all in the same episode. That's going to be super awesome going up against the Reverse Flash. So I'm going to do a photo for that hopefully tonight to put up tomorrow in you know, the hype for it. And when I say tomorrow, I actually mean today, because that's when this vlog is going up. But yeah, the Atom, he will be done not in time for the Arrow finale, unfortunately, but he will be done sometime after. And then also, let me pull him out right here. War Machine, I did start on. As you can see, that's all I have on him. I just painted the breakthrough chest and glued on the gun onto his shoulder. So that's all I have on War Machine so far. And then this is something I did completely out of nowhere for May the 4th. And yeah, I can't believe it's already been, I saw, like, May the 4th happened. So by the way, happy Star Wars Day a week later. But yeah, I did actually start on my own custom Force Awakens Stormtrooper. And this is something I didn't see myself doing, to be completely honest. I kept telling myself, no, I'm going to wait for LEGO to make their own helmet and, you know, their own printing, but I just figured, I have nothing to do for Star Wars Day, so I might as well do this and paint my own Stormtrooper. So in like a couple days, I painted literally everything you see there, and so it was a little bit challenging to get this much done that fast for the photo, but as you can see, I still have a lot to do on the back and the legs, but once I get that detail on the back and the legs done, the Force Awakens Stormtrooper and this like makeshift Han Solo that I did for that photo that I did when the second trailer came out during Celebration, you will see a showcase on this Han Solo and that Stormtrooper in the same video. So yeah, did not expect myself to actually put this in a video, but I figure, hey, if I'm going to be showcasing that Stormtrooper, I might as well throw him in too. So yeah, now other customs that I'm going to be doing. Obviously, this is the main custom that I wanted to get to, and this is Daredevil, man. Daredevil, I've been planning ever since I heard that there was going to be a red suit in the series, and I've already watched Daredevil 3 times now. It's an absolutely fantastic and amazing series, and so, of course, I'm making my own, and you can see this is what I have so far. He's not totally finished yet. I still have to do a lot on the back and a lot more detail on the legs, and a little bit on the sides. As you can see, they're a little bit blank in those areas there and there, but I did sculpt on the horns, and the first preview is up on my everything, well, everything except Flickr. It's on my Twitter, Facebook, and the Instagrams, man. But yeah, I actually did paint the silver tips on the batons today. That's what I did today on Daredevil. So gotta finish him in the next few days. Hopefully that would be awesome. You'll definitely see him. I'd say you'll see the Stormtrooper or Daredevil first. I'm not sure when my next showcase video will be, but it'll be pretty soon. I'm also waiting for that Ant-Man set to show up. The Ant-Man Final Battle is supposed to be coming out this month, so hopefully we'll see that at least by the end of the month, so I can get started on my Ant-Man customs, because geez, I'm only making 3 figures for Ant-Man. I can tell you guys right now, we'll be making Ant-Man, Yellow Jacket, and Hank Pym for the showcase video, but I mean, if say the set comes out like at the end of May, then I only have like a month and a half, if that, to do the figures and pull it off. So that's going to be my main focus. Starting in June will be my Ant-Man customs, but obviously I already have a running start on Ant-Man that I did back in January, so that's good. And so there's that. And then also I want to clarify something for those of you guys who keep up with me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. What is this? This is my Ultron drone figure. It was just a basic, I think if I can, I have my Age of Ultron figures right here, but you guys know, like, the basic, like, Ultron drones, those figures right there. I just took one of those, and then I just pretty much brutally mauled the thing with a drill, and then I painted all the blue bits red, and I repainted that eye there, because I personally think that LEGO should have always printed the design of the eyes on the Ultron drones like this, rather than the way they did, and you're using like a humanoid sort of design. And I pretty much painted everything red on him, and recreated that photo, or at least that scene. Sorry for the cutoff there, by the way. I don't have my sister's phone, which has like unlimited memory on it, basically, in comparison to mine. My sister and my mom are in New York right now, so do not have the luxury of my sister's memory right now, so I'm just using my own phone, which has like 800 photos on it. So yeah, Ultron drone that I seriously messed up for that photo. By the way, I'll actually give you a quick look at that photo if I can pull it up, man. It's not coming out. There it is. Yeah, so there's the photo that I recreated, that scene in Age of Ultron, and it's a little bit of a spoiler, actually. Hopefully I didn't spoil too much if you haven't seen Age of Ultron, but you've had 12 days, so if you haven't seen Age of Ultron now, I mean, I don't want to sound harsh, but there's something wrong with you. Like, you have to get out and see the film at least at some point, or at least hopefully you have already. Most of you have been watching this vlog, but yeah, so I'm not actually starting spoilers yet. I do want to mention one other thing, and that thing is the fact that I will hopefully, not totally sure if I will, but I will hopefully be doing Fantastic Four customs. I mean, the movie looks good enough that I think I should make customs for it, and I do have a few ideas for how I'll do the thing, and obviously painting the actual team itself wouldn't be too big of a challenge, just basic like black containment suits, and then I mean probably the bigger challenge would be getting the likeness to each actor correct. So I mean, you might see Age of I almost said Age of Ultron. I keep saying Age of Ultron. I'm just too stuck on it. You might see Fantastic Four customs from me. It's just I'd have to somehow figure out time management between the Ant-Man customs and the Fantastic Four customs, because Fantastic Four comes out right after Brick Fair, so I'd have to have the Ant-Man customs finished by July 15th, and then I'd have to have the Fantastic Four customs finished by whatever day it is. I'd have to have the whole showcase for the Fantastic Four customs finished like by the day I leave for Brick Fair. So a lot to do, and then I'm also going to be doing some sections for my buddy Sean, his Halo collab this year at Brick Fair, so I'm going to be doing that and building that soon, and it's like I'm going to be doing a lot starting in June, and So you can expect a lot coming from me, man. But yeah, so Arrow's gonna have its finale this week, which apparently takes place after the Flash finale, or no, I have that totally wrong. We have the Arrow finale this week, and then the episode of The Flash this week takes place after the Arrow finale. So this episode of The Flash and the Flash finale both take place after the Arrow finales. If I'm getting that correct, that's what I read somewhere from someone that I can't remember. But if that is correct, that's a little confusing, and obviously that's all a result of when the shows took a break and then fell out of sync with one another. So that is a thing, man, and all of those things are things, and so I have things that I want to discuss about Age of Ultron, which was also a thing that happened. And so Age of Ultron. Full spoilers now. If you have not seen Age of Ultron for whatever reason, I definitely recommend you drop off this video now. I pretty much have gone over everything I wanted to talk about in this vlog. So yeah, one other thing though, Suicide Squad. They look amazing. I should mention that. I'm pretty sure that did that happen in my I can't remember if that happened like when I recorded my reveal vlog. I don't know if it did, but the Suicide Squad looks amazing. All the set photos look awesome. Definitely excited for that and everything else that's going on with Civil War, by the way. Before I start talking about Age of Ultron, the Civil War cast sounds incredible. Definitely was not expecting Martin Freeman and especially Paul Rudd as Ant-Man. And given that Ant-Man's going to be in the film now, I hope that he's going to be siding with Hawkeye. He was obviously, I would assume, going to be siding with Cap. And then it'd be amazing to see Ant-Man flying on one of Hawkeye's arrows. That'll be sweet. Civil War sounds amazing. I just hope that the Russo brothers can balance all those characters, because it's quite a leap jumping from a few Captain America characters in one Captain America movie to Captain America Civil War, which is basically, it has more Avengers in it than the Avengers films themselves. So you might as well call the film Avengers Civil War. So I'm really curious to see how it's going to focus on Captain America when you have pretty much all the Avengers in it, you know. And super excited at Scarlet Witch, you know, Vision, Black Panther. There's so much is going to be happening in that film. Cannot wait to see how it all plays out. But that's next year. That's a year from now. But I still wanted to mention it, man. So what else? Yeah, so Age of Ultron. I'm going to talk about a few things, spoilery, and so spoilers start here for Age of Ultron. Once again, click off this video if you have not seen Avengers Age of Ultron. So, spoiler warning, there you go. Where to start with this film? I guess we'll start off right off the bat with what you guys have all been talking about, the biggest, I guess, WTF, which was unfortunately ruined for me by a few Australians on my Instagram page, is that Quicksilver dies, and I was not expecting that. I was honestly expecting either, honestly, Nick Fury or Agent Hill were my two #1 people candidates who I thought were going to be killed, but then I was assuming that Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver were going to be safe because they were just introducing them for this movie, so I didn't really think that newly introduced Avengers would be killed off in their first movie. So seeing Quicksilver die, that was unexpected, and I mean, or at least it was unexpected when I was laying on my couch on my phone, and then it popped up as a notification at the top of my screen, and I was like, oh, well, there's that. I'm screwed now. Ruined that for me. Thanks, Australians. Appreciate that. So, yeah, that scene was sad, but really well done, and it's just unfortunate that Scarlet Witch is going to be alone now. I guess the Vision's going to have to fill that gap for her. I mean, obviously, I would assume the Vision rescuing her from Sokovia as it was plummeting to the surface. Maybe that was a reference to hopefully, I mean, I'm not really sure if I should say hopefully, because I'm not sure if it'll work out on screen or not. But maybe one day seeing that relationship form between the Vision and Scarlet Witch. Speaking of the Vision, holy shit, was that amazing. Now, Ultron, the creation of Ultron, it was really great all the way up until the next scene after Ultron Mark 1 destroys that floor of the Avengers Tower, and then he resonates into his new Ultron Prime body. I was really surprised because suddenly he knows who Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver is. They're already meeting in Sokovia, in the center of Sokovia, in that church, and he's in his full Ultron Prime body. And it was like, whoa, man. That was fast. Literally, the next scene after they are all talking about why, you guys know the scene if you're watching at this point. Tony when he's explaining to them why he created Ultron and they're all mad at him, and you guys remember that scene. It was fantastic, by the way. The whole film was fantastic. It's just like Ultron, there he was, right there, and I was like, whoa. Clearly something was cut, but that's okay because Joss Whedon said that the whole thing was like 3 hours long, and that's so obviously something half an hour. We're missing half an hour of scenes there, and then also What really sucks to me is they did film a scene with Tom Hiddleston, and they cut that out as well. Joss Whedon said there was too much going on in the film, and that I forget the exact quote, so I'm not even going to attempt to paraphrase. But so Loki got cut from the film. We got Heimdall a little bit in Thor's vision, but I was genuinely disappointed that Loki wasn't in the film, because if you watch the Thor sequences between him and Eric Selvig, if you literally, I don't even know why Selvig was in the film, because he stood there and did nothing. He said one or two lines and that was it. He did nothing to help Thor whatsoever. Like Thor literally went to the university or wherever Selvig is working, and then he's like, I need you to help me do this thing, and then they go to do this thing, and apparently Selvig is there to help Thor with these spiritual waters that, according to Thor, sorry for another cutoff there, by the way, that according to Thor, there are like these spiritual waters that help. I don't remember the exact backstory behind it all, but he sees, like, he basically sees an extension of the first vision Scarlet Witch gives him in Africa, and so I was like, okay, he went to these waters, saw more of his vision to understand it more. And then Selvig stood there and did nothing, and that was it. And then he tells everyone that he saw something in his vision, but I'm like, okay, but here's what we could have done. Instead of having him go to these spiritual waters, get Selvig to help him with whatever it is he helped him with, which I don't even know what that was because he just stood there. You could have just had him see all the Infinity Gems and see the full vision when the first time around when Scarlet Witch does it, and then when he starts to gain his suspicions of the Infinity Stones, maybe then he'll be like, okay, I can't deal with that now. Let's deal with Ultron, and then at the Avengers Academy, before he heads back up to Asgard, then he could mention it. That in the vision that Scarlet Witch gave him at first, he saw something. You didn't need that whole dream sequence again with those waters and whatever the heck that was supposed to be. That was unneeded, and so I feel like that should have been cut, and we could have had that Loki sequence that apparently was cut, and maybe even some other scene that should have been in there that could have backed up the creation of Ultron, which was pretty fast, unfortunately. But who cares? Because the film was still amazing, and those were my only two gripes that I wanted to talk about right off the bat. But the vision, the way the vision was created, his personality like Paul Bettany, the makeup, my God, the added CGI to him, his cape, the way he moved, the way he phased his arm through Ultron drones in the final battle, the scene when he flies into the top of like right above the main center of Sokovia where he's got the drill, when he flies in, he's like Ultron, and then you're like, oh my God, look at that shot, and when you finally realize that or at least when he finally fires the beam out of his soul gem, and when the vision was amazing on every level. I thought the vision might have been very well the best part of the film. I'm genuinely torn between whether I love James Spader and the CGI of Ultron, or if I love the vision and the way Paul Bettany handled the character. I can't decide which was better. So they're almost on an equal level for me. I thought it was absolutely amazing. The Ultron and the Vision, definitely best parts of the film. I have to disagree with some of you guys when you say that Hawkeye had a bit, or not maybe some of you guys, but people I've seen on the internet in general who say Hawkeye has a big role in the film. He's got a major role in the story, in the film's plot. And I'm like, okay, they go to his safe house. You realize Hawkeye has a family, and the Black Widow Hawkeye ship completely sunk. And yes, he wasn't under the control of Loki the whole film. He was there with them, and he was great, especially humor-wise, in the final battle with Scarlet Witch, and when he's giving the speech to her, and then obviously when Quicksilver, he's like, no one would know if he fired the arrow at Quicksilver. You guys know that scene. I'm not going to try to imitate it. Hawkeye was great in the film. He had a much bigger role, of course, but I mean, it's just like they gave him an equal role that he didn't have in the Avengers, and that I thought was great. That was nice. The whole watching the film though, I wasn't like, wow, he's the main character. He wasn't. At least to me, I didn't feel that way. I've seen the film 4 times now, by the way. And then also another note on the creation of Ultron. He just shows up in his Ultimate Ultron armor, and you're like, okay, did you bathe in vibranium? We don't know how he got the added armor that he clearly has on his new body after he captures Black Widow. So I thought that must have been another scene that was cut, because clearly in the first teaser we saw Ultron like covered in what we would assume to be melting vibranium, or molten vibranium, I guess, if that's a thing. That was clearly cut, because we saw that in the very first teaser. So I mean, there must have been a lot cut. And Kevin Feige and Joss Whedon both said there's going to be a handful of deleted scenes, and I think even a director's cut with the DVD release. So that's pretty insane, man. The film, I think, is almost at $1 billion. Last I heard, I think it was at like 900 million or something. So the film, of course, is going to completely blow up the box office for the next month or two, however long it's going to be in theaters, of course. And I think the estimated amount is 1.7 billion. I'm not sure if that's after it opens in Japan or not. But yeah, so the whole film, I loved absolutely everything about it. The Hulkbuster sequence, I really do wish they didn't release that first clip, but still, that was really awesome, and especially the rapid punching, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. That was a great. I loved that little addition, and the I'm sorry by Tony. That was awesome. The CGI behind the Hulk and the Hulkbuster in this film, both of them were amazing. Absolutely loved how they left the Hulk kind of wide open, like we don't know when he could show up, because now the whereabouts of Hulk are now unknown. Maybe like at the very end of Infinity War Part 2, I'm sure he'll show up sooner than that. Maybe like somewhere in Infinity War Part 1, we'll see Hulk just like show up and like jump on Thanos' back or something like that. That would be cool, like a surprise comeback from him. But I don't know. But yeah, so Hulk was left open. I mean, Cap had a great amount of screen time in this movie. Of course, his suit, oh my god, seeing it in action, best Captain America suit I think that we might ever get, because I think even the Russo brothers and the costume designers for Civil War realized that, because if you guys have seen the promo art that was leaked for Civil War already, you'll see that it's basically the Age of Ultron costume, just with some of the white taken off of it. So I'll basically be making the same Captain America next year. But yeah, and then also the Black Widow Mark Ruffalo relationship, that was great. Did I say Black Widow Mark Ruffalo? Black Widow and Bruce Banner relationship, that was great. I was not expecting that. I didn't see how that really somehow played into it. What I told myself is there has been some significant time between Captain America, the Winter Soldier, and between this film, that maybe that with tons of lullabies and whatever what have you, with between Black Widow and the Hulk, maybe she's grown accustomed to him. I'm not really sure if that's the way I should phrase that. Maybe she's just she's grown a bond there that happened off screen, that just resumed on screen in Age of Ultron. That's kind of what I told myself. So yeah, speaking of Black Widow, really hoping they go back to the longer straight hair that she has from the comics that they had in the Winter Soldier. I preferred that. Maybe with having the Russo brothers back, they'll continue that trend for Black Widow, because that was one that I kind of sorely missed in this film. The shorter hair never really did it for me. But who cares, honestly? That's not something that I think would really be of concern for the MCU and looking ahead. But yeah, Ulysses Claw was great, and that was awesome having him involved. I don't really know why Ultron didn't just take the vibranium and kill Claw, but obviously now that Ultron just sliced his arm off, that was hilarious, by the way. Ultron's reaction to that, that was awesome. But obviously we're probably gonna get an actual Claw from like maybe he'll use the billions of dollars that Ultron put into his accounts to give himself his own like vibranium claw that we could see in the Black Panther film with Chadwick Boseman. That would be amazing. But yeah, Claw as a character, Andy Serkis, he did an amazing job. Really great. And sorry about the cutoff there. Like I said, memory's not been a friend to me. I've been importing this vlog, and every time you've seen a cut, I've had to put the first half into my IMAX. So yeah, but anyway, back on topic there. I'm going to try to wrap this up a little bit quicker here, because I realize this is actually kind of turning into a vlog podcast, so I apologize for that. But yeah, so the opening sequence, the tracking shot, that was amazing. Was not expecting Baron von Strucker to be killed off, nor Dr. List, because I watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm a pretty dedicated Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fan. I watch it every time it comes on, and I'm going to be watching the finale tonight, the 2-hour finale, and so it's like, okay, now Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as a show just lost their Baron von Strucker and their Dr. List, so their main two Hydra villains are now gone. And so I guess Ward and the Inhumans are going to be the main focus on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. moving forward. I guess Hydra is kind of a thing of the past now after Age of Ultron. Don't know. But yeah, so then the return of Shield. Now Shield's status is officially gone from inactive to active with the rising of the helicarrier to get all the civilians off of that that chunk of Sokovia that Ultron was rising up into the air. So yeah, Shield is back now and it had a great tie-in. Agents of Shield spoiler right here, right now. So if you have not seen Agents of Shield season 2, definitely recommending you don't listen for at least the next 40 seconds, I would say. When there was a great tie-in with Coulson, like he was the one hiding the helicarrier, and that's what Theta Protocol was, and he was hiding the helicarrier within that base, and so it was pretty cool knowing that Coulson was one of the main guys who helped get that helicarrier in the air to save everyone in that big chunk of Sokovia, and so that was really awesome. Vision being able to lift Thor's hammer, by the way, that was amazing, and I definitely loved that. I'm not sure, can you guys clarify for me, is it because Vision was pure enough to hold it because he was just born that minute, or was it because Vision is not a real person but he's a really nice machine? So I'm not sure which of the two it was that allowed him to be able to pick up Mjolnir. But speaking of Thor was awesome. He had some great sequences, of course, and the humor and the dynamic between the team, everything about that. The Age of Ultron is just a great laugh in general. There's so many great jokes that land so well in all the moments where they're dropped, and it's just Age of Ultron. The final battle sequence blew my mind. That tracking shot where you see all of them in the center defending the drill against all the Ultron drones, mowing through them. Amazing. The Mark 45, amazing. Scarlet Witch's abilities, especially when she incinerates all the drones around her when she senses that Quicksilver has died. That was amazing. You guys already know my opinions at this point. Everything except the creation of Ultron, which unfortunately had to be rushed, not really Joss Whedon's fault. And also, the Thor dream sequence, that was not necessary. Having that whole scene between him and Selvig, completely unnecessary. Those two things, my only two problems in the film. I've seen it 4 times now, and I've settled that those are my only 2 problems with the film. I loved everything else. Everything else. Loved it. All of it. That's it. I'm going to stop talking about Age of Ultron now because I think you guys get the point, but I just wanted to get some general thoughts out. I'm sure there are tons of things I have not mentioned that I really wish I would have mentioned, but you guys get the idea. Like I said, I loved everything except those 2 things that I pointed out. This film was amazing, an A+ film for me. Loved everything about it. Cannot wait to see Thanos, especially that tag scene that we saw in the middle of the credits. That was awesome. Cannot wait to see how he might even be wielding 2 Infinity Gauntlets, because Kevin Feige did confirm that was the second. There are 2 Infinity Gauntlets in the MCU, so how about that? But the next time I talk about Avengers thoughts will be in 3 years. Holy shit. Infinity War, next Avengers film. They're going to be fighting Thanos already. How did this happen? It's insane, man. But time is nuts, and I've used a lot of it in this vlog. Hopefully you stuck around, but I think this will be the last super long vlog for a while, because now that I've shown you all my customs, that was my biggest vlog ever, and then hopefully this won't be as long. I don't even know what the runtime of this vlog is going to be, but thank you for sticking around. I hung up this poster finally, and that's going to be in the background of future vlogs. So yeah, I'm going to go, man. Age of Ultron was amazing. Loved everything about it. Gonna go see it for the 5th time very soon, and I'll catch you guys later. Okay, bye!